Hey everybody, welcome back to the Indecisive Collector. My name is Nancy and today I'm going to be reviewing the Arteza Real Brush Pens Premium, and I have had my eyes on these for a while. I will be linking them down below because I personally really enjoy these. These come in the colors Wisteria Purple, Chocolate, Bright Blue, Royal Blue, Lemon Yellow, Neon Pink, Noir, Red, Orange, Seaweed Green, Light Green, and Smoke Gray. So this is the smaller of the packs that you can purchase. They obviously do have bigger options, but this is what I could afford. And I honestly didn't know if I was gonna like this set very much because I was a little nervous. I'd never heard of the company really before. So I wanted to get the smaller of the packs to just try, dipping my foot in the water. So this is what they look like when you take them out of the package. The package is sort of resealable. It's a thicker plastic that you can close and open over and over again, but if you step on it or if it bends, it's gonna not look pretty. But as you can see, these pens look super nice. They have a very thick plastic cap that kind of really gets on there. It's a little bit smaller than the Tombow pen, which is great if you're somebody who has a smaller pencil bag like I do, because a lot of my Tombow pens are really long and don't really fit in there even though they're amazing, but they are a little bit bigger than a mechanical pencil. So there is a lot of, I guess you could say, ink in there, because if it's as much as, almost a Tombow pen, not obviously completely, but if it's almost to that length, that would be amazing. And there's Anra! So they claim to be real brush pens. That was the thing that I was kind of nervous about, because Tombow, that brand is called brush pens, but it's more of a very thin felt tip marker. And I was wondering if I was going to finally find a brush pen that a paintbrush that with bristles and all. And I've got to tell you, this actually does not disappoint. I really like the way the ink comes out, and I believe the ink is water-based. I'll double check on that and let you all know in the description below. But this is, I believe, water-based, so when it comes out, it looks very liquidy and it doesn't have that marker feel. I do have to warn you that if you draw with these too quickly, or if you press too hard and try to go really fast, it's gonna look awful. You are not going to get what you want out of this pen. I honestly thought that these pens were bad at first, because I tried coloring a picture very quickly with them, and I tried doing it really fast and hard, and it looked really terrible. No ink was coming out, and I was ruining the bristles basically, and I was like, oh no, these don't work. But as it turns out, you have to go very gently, and a lot of ink, as you could see, does come out. You just have to be careful with the pressure that you put on these. You have to be gentle enough that the ink will disperse, but you also have to remember that these act almost like watercolor pens, or watercolors in general, so they do layer. As you can see, I do have in that pink crystal over there darker pieces than I do lighter, and that's that I went over it again, and I tried doing that with a lot of other of the colors. This is the light blue color, which is called Bright Blue, and I really like how these came out. Obviously you should definitely use these on a thicker paper, because I could already feel like if I would keep going over a certain spot, it would make it wet enough to the point where the paper might come up. Granted, this is very thin paper, or not too thin, but thin enough. You have to have that really nice watercolor. I didn't know how I was going to feel about kind of blending with this. I tried blending with the orange and the yellow that you're about to see right now, and it didn't come out exactly like how I was expecting, because when you blend watercolors and you put a little bit of water, it disperses. When I tried just kind of blending it on its own, it didn't really work out. Since this is water-based, I would assume that you can add water with a different brush. I've seen on their page that that's possible. I didn't have any other brushes with water that I could do that with at the moment, so I didn't try it. But if you want to try it on your own and let me know how it works, I would love to hear from you, because I would love to try new things. But as you can see, the pink crystal looks really nice with that darker shaded area, but the blue crystal still looks really wet and damp, and I'm not sure if that really goes away. See, with the orange and yellow crystal, I tried to kind of give it a gradient look, but that will only, I guess, work if you have that other pen with water to disperse the pigment, but after drying, it still looks kind of splotchy. I don't know if I'm just really bad at watercolors or coloring in general with physical markers, but for me personally, I feel like I didn't do too well with it just because I'm not used to watercolors and how their pigment kind of, goes along. And I think also the paper didn't help because it's very thin paper, and some of the ink and the wateriness of it kind of rubbed some paper away. So I definitely recommend using this with watercolor paper if you can. It does look beautiful. These colors are super bright and they're super pigmented. If you go over them again and again, of course they will get darker just like regular watercolors. They do exactly that. And you saw the yellow and the orange, which it did layer. It made a brighter orange than I think it would have normally been. So it does layer. I just don't know about the entire gradient thing. If you want to have it kind of go into itself, you might have to do the whole getting your own brush pen with water just to make that happen. But as you can see in the green here, that you can, like, all those little dots that you see right there is like really deep pieces from me going over it of paper that rubbed away. So just be careful with that. And the cool thing is I used this over dried micron pens, and it did not make the ink come up. It did not rub any of the ink from the pen off. So I really like that, because a lot of times when I use watercolors, even if I wait like a day, the water will saturate it so much that the ink will come off or it'll bleed, and it didn't have enough like water in it, I guess, to have that happen. So I was really happy about that. So overall, I really enjoyed these pens, and I do want to get more, but I do also want to get a water brush pen just so I could test these out in like blending, because I want to see what these are really capable of, and obviously get thicker paper so that I can have less dark splotchy areas, because like I said, it's really hard for me to just go over one area, and a lot of the times when you go over one area, if one line is touching the other with these pens, you can see the streaks in it. And so that's why I think that it would be best to have the blending pen or the blending brush with the water, just so it'll be a little better. Sorry that I drew outside the lines. That's just how I draw. I'm really bad at it. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think the pink crystal came out really great out of all of them. That one was my favorite. So if you've tried these pens before, what do you think of them? How have you used them? Do you have art? Like, let me know in the comments below so I could go check that out, because I'm always looking for new artists to follow and stuff like that. And I'm also thinking about doing like an artist of the week. If you've got art and stuff that you want to share, let me know in the comments below, or send me an email to the email I will have in the description, and I will go ahead and post that on the channel at the end of my videos. Also, in the last video, I'm not sure if anybody saw it, but I did let people know that I have a Patreon. If you would like to go become a patron, I post lots of cool stuff on there. Well, as of right now, I've posted the sketch of a Boo-ette, which is like a Princess Peach but Boo version, and it was like the pre-sketch before the real drawing. And I'm thinking about putting up some wallpapers on there, and I have a Discord channel that you can join if you are a patron, so that's really cool. Alright, thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye!